Redneck Muck, peace. As soon as the camera come on, I was like, did I wear this shirt in the last video? Might, because this is, you'll see I wear a lot of gray. That's because all my job shirts are gray, unless I'm wearing the button-ups, and then they're blue. But this is a shirt that I really don't care if it gets dirty, so yeah, I'm wearing it. Boy, this is going to get way off track real fast, but I've often said that I need to start a clothing line and call it Manimals, you know, because I always get yelled at for wearing the wrong pants or wrong clothes when I'm wearing stuff. But if I had Manimals, it wouldn't happen, because in Manimals, on the tag, like the clothes of Granimals, you would have an animal or a manimal. And like, you know, let's say, so you match, you would have a gorilla wearing a construction hat. So you know that is work clothes. That matches other gorilla work clothes, you know. If you have a giraffe and a bow tie, you know, well, that's like church stuff, you know. So, yeah, that's nice. You can't wear that working on stuff. It matches other giraffe with bow ties. And so on and so forth. So that way you never get yelled at for wearing your work, or your, well, you get yelled at for both. Wearing your work clothes to church and your church clothes to work. You know what I'm saying? It happens to me a lot. Alright, that was time well wasted. So let me show you what I'm going to try to do today, and you're going to argue with me and tell me that this isn't going to work probably, but I'm not good at this shit. So we'll see. I'll show you. So right here, I have a little crack. This is the only crack on the whole body. So my plan is, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to clean up the back side here. Oh, the back side. Clean this up, clean the back side up. And I'm going to take some 2-part epoxy that says it's good with fiberglass and has a tensile strength of like 4,000 pounds. And I'm going to put that stuff on there and let it set up and cure, and hopefully that holds that little crack together and I don't have any issues out of it. So bear with me and we'll see what we can do. First I got to pull this tire. I hate to have to remove my fabulous Avanti rims. Woo! I bought this impact new in 1991. There better ones out there? Yeah. More powerful? Yeah. I'm attached. Keep dropping my nuts. That fancy dancy tire. That's really thin, but I like him all right. That's okay. I'd probably say muck. Probably a sander might work better. Yeah, I got this handy dandy thing with me. just want to get that primer off there to make sure that epoxy's stuck. So that's my plan with that. Let me pause you just a second while I get some stuff out. Alright. Just going to blow this off a little bit. And then I'm going to wipe it off a little bit. Okay. And so I'm not a big fan of epoxies. I never was really good at it. And then I got better at it with my woodworking. So, pardon me 1 second. Should have shut that off earlier, but I did not. So I've got me a little spreading stick. You might recognize this as the end of a paint stirrer. And then this guy here you just break off, boop, and then it starts running all over the place because that's what it does. I always hold it upright because when you start pushing this stuff out, there's generally a little bit of air. It always takes a second. I always make a mess. Come on. There it comes. There it is. So if you hold it upright, you usually get the bubbles out and get a more consistent bunch. See how it's all the way up in there? And then you just take this guy and you put 2 globbies on there and set him to the side. Then you grab your mixing tool, which I'm using a tiny little screwdriver. And you mix these 2 guys together. You should see it turning just a little bit milky, like that. And then this guy's going to start going on here. And that is why I took my tire off, because I didn't want this running down onto my tire. And I might not even need my little stir stick that I made. I'm going to put some more on the back side. I'll mix up more in just a second. Back side is going to be more paint. So get my rag and wipe my knife and my screwdriver off here. Boom, boom. There we go. And you might say, Muck, how's that going to work with the paint? Is it going to react? I do not know. So yeah, if you look at the package that's come in, it's got an actual mixing tray right there. I didn't use it yet because I wanted to use it for this one. And then you just stir that up. You probably see it milk up a little better on this. See it getting all milky. Try to work as many bubbles out as you can. You can see it's run off some on the fender, which is fine. We'll take this guy right here and get that whole big gloop. That's half of it's going to end up on the floor, but you know, some of it's going to end up there. So now I have to walk away from this thing for an hour or so, and then I will see how good it feels, and if I need to grind it off, cut it out, start over, or what? Is it going to be perfect? No. But, you know, Muck's not perfect. You're not perfect. We're not perfect. So, you know, maybe some people want their car perfect. I want mine nice, drivable. I want to be able to take it to a show. But most of all, I just want it to look good and people to turn heads when it's driving down the road. And if somebody comes up there and they look it all over and they go, what's this little goop spot right here that doesn't look right in the paint? I don't care. Screw them. They just want to pick stuff apart because he rode in on his moped, and he's got the nicest moped in town. It's got 6 speakers on the back. 4 of them are 6x9s, and you know, he rocks out to Guns N' Roses and Poison, and lets his mullet blow in the wind, and he's just mad because, you know, 3 DUIs later, he's still driving a scooter. So they won't let you drive drunk. It's a shame. Just kidding, it's perfect. Don't do that stuff. Anyway, alright. Peace. Alright. So this is my next little project. I gotta finish getting this quarter and that door sanded down and in primer, and then the whole car will be in primer. So yeah, fun times. So I ran into a little problem. My Amazon sanding disc blew off mid-sand, and so that filled my so these things, because the discs are self-sticky, they kind of get sticky themselves, and as soon as it blew off, man, it just filled full of dust. So when that happens, the best thing to do is you take that dude in the house and you put some Dawn dish soap or something of the sort on it, and you scrub that dude down with a little brush and you dry it all off, and it gets all clean and black again, and then stuff sticks real well. So if that happens to you, you blow a disc off, yeah, don't use brake clean, don't use stuff in the shop. I found Dawn dish soap. That's what I prefer. You know, other dish soaps will work too, but just take it in and wash it. That's the best way. So, got everything sanded off to about where it needs to be. It's kind of interesting how some of this has to go all the way down, and some of this I can leave some of the paint. If you notice, from about here up on the car, I've had to take almost everything because it was just sun-baked bad. But when you start getting down here, some places were worse than others. This place was real bad, so I had to take it all the way down. But this place was pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and prime it and see what it looks like and go from there. But I'll get this dude blowed off and wiped down, get this side primed, and we will get back to that fixed spot on the left front fender. Alright, so it's cured well more than an hour. It feels pretty good, and if you look at it, it's moving with the whole fender instead of all by its lonesome. Is it perfect? No, but this might be alright. Trying not to go hog wild on it. I think that's about where I'm going to leave it at. Right there. And can see how it's dipped in where I use that grinder to cut in, but it's full of plastic. So I'm going to use some glaze, I think, is all I'm going to use on that. I'll pause you up here and go get my glaze. Alright, so I got my good old glazing spot putty. I haven't used it yet. I've used this particular stuff before, I just haven't used this particular tube before, I should say. It seems like it holds up pretty well. Some people really don't like it. It's just really simple, especially on these little spots like this, because I just dab a little in there and put the cap back on it. You got about 5 minutes to work with it, and then it's got about a 20-minute cure time to be able to sand it. And you know, I'll just work it in there like that, and I'll leave it just a little bit big, and I'll come back and sand it out, and hopefully it's all good and smooth. If not, then I'll put a little more on it, and we'll be back in about 20 minutes. See that or not, but my fingernail's still sinking into it. It's been about 25 minutes, so I gotta let it go a few more. Alright, I'm gonna give it a shot. It's been about 30 minutes. I still think it's too soft, but I'm going to, just out of a good experiment. I can already tell that it's going to need more, that it's going to be too low in a couple spots, but what you do is you put the sander nice and flat. Don't try to dig in, nice and flat, so you get all the high stuff and you leave the stuff that's low, and then you'll put another layer on. So let's give it a shot. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. See how that all just come right off? You can tell by the paper, if you can see that. See, some of it was still pretty soft, but down there it was dry and hard. I'm going to put another little dab on it, and we'll keep working it here. This next dab might do it. We'll see. It ain't going to take a whole lot, but nice and thin. There we go. Alright, let's give it another 20 minutes or so. It's been a little bit. Let's give this guy a shot here and see what we got. Man, that is pretty close. Pretty close. Bear with me here. Just look at it. Sorry, that took me a minute. Brand new can of primer. It's missing something. So I'll go dig here in the trash. Come up with another one. I'm gonna run that, I can tell already. Maybe not. So I think that's pretty good for now. What do you think? Let me get you close here. Maybe you can see or not see. Yeah, that's been my day. So the whole car is now in primer. Got that little spot repaired. That's a big deal. really big deal. So yeah, now the next time is sand it some more and prime it some more, and it won't take as long to sand the whole thing because a lot of it will be flatter. So I used 45 sheets of 80 grit sandpaper on this first go around. Part of that was because this car, this particular make and model, has very few flat spots. I mean, there are curves everywhere, and even when you think it's in a flat spot, it's a curve. So you're constantly wearing out the edge of your paper, and that's exactly why I had the paper fly off a couple times and get dust and crap on the sticky part of my my sander, was because I was working those curves, and this is a cheaper sandpaper, but that's what I'm going for right now. So the paint cost me about $250 for the paint and the clear. I'm going to put some pearl in it. I keep pearl. I've bought pearl for years, and I've always have some kind of pearl. This particular pearl is going to be a green and orange shift pearl. It's not like you'll see a massive change, but on the rolls you'll be able to see, oh, there's some green tint to it, and then you'll notice there's some orange tint to it, and you know, it's kind of a neat little thing. I'd say everything together in my paint job, I'll probably have less than $350, and the only thing I'm really not happy with is I have flat refused to pull my bumpers off. I know the bolts are going to break. I can just see it. So instead of fighting them, getting them off there, having to figure out how to fix them and all that on this go around, I'm just going to work around them. And it's not something I particularly like to do, but on this particular go around, I think it's kind of necessary. So you know, like I said, this is kind of my save job. I'm going to get her in a position where, I call it a her all the time. I don't know if I ever told you guys this or not. I get off track again, but her name's Elvira, so the car is Elvira. And I have a lot of plans for her if I enjoy her as much as I think I'm going to. So, and I think that's one thing that a lot of guys miss when they start doing something like this. They jump in there whole hog and they strip it down to, you know, bare bones, and whoa, when it hits the road, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. Well, then they work on that dude for like 2 years, and they burn themselves out, and then somebody buys a project that's, you know, half done, and they get a good deal. But I learned a long time ago. I've done a few of those long projects, and these kind of do it in stages is better for me. So I brought this home. My original plan was it was going to hit the road like she looked. I got the brakes all done. I got the engine running good. Got the driveline all greased up. Got my wheels figured out. It took me longer to get my wheels figured out than I thought it was going to. And then it started warming up outside, and I was like, you know, she's already up in the air. It really won't take me that long to sand her down and paint it. Hopefully next weekend or the weekend after, I could be possibly ready to paint. And then after I get done painting it, I'm going to brush undercoating on the frame. I don't know if I'll video the brush and undercoat. I mean, it sounds pretty simple. I think you guys can figure that out, but I might. We'll see. But anyway, I think that's it for this video, and I'll get it set out there, and hopefully, like I said, that in a few weeks I've got this dude painted and she's ready for the road, and I'm out cruising. My stubble blowing in the wind. Redneck Muck, peace.